Hi, welcome to my art studio. I'm Yaz, and today I'm going to be giving you a tour of my creative space. I have had this art studio for a little over 6 years now. It is a smaller space, but I am very grateful to have an art studio space. There's been times in my life where all I've had is a little desk in my corner of my bedroom for my art stuff. So it's taken a while, but it's nice that I finally have a bigger space, a dedicated space that is just for my creativity. I think it's really important for all artists to have that dedicated space for their creativity, even if it is just a little corner in your room, because for me, whenever I step into my art studio, I automatically kind of get into that flow state because I know this is my creative space. That's all I do in this area is create. And so when I come into this space, it's like my creativity and my inspiration is just kind of, the juices just kind of get flowing a little bit easier, I feel like, if you have that dedicated space. So just thought I'd throw that out there. But yeah, and please enjoy. So I'll show you a general view of my art studio, and then we can kind of get maybe into the nooks and crannies a little bit more. But please stay tuned and let's start the tour. So here is the very beginning of my art studio. I've got a bunch of things in storage going on in here. A whole bunch of supplies that I didn't have space for, so they're just in a box for now. But this is my Cricut area, kind of my catch-all area. Right now I'm just kind of storing some sketchbooks and this drawing tablet that I've had for a couple of years and I've only used like once. Whoops. But yeah, this is kind of where I store all of my Cricut things and just some kind of random art projects, finished art projects. This one's finished. This one's not quite done. This big boy, I know you've seen him on my channel if you've been around. I need to glue that hamburger plate down again, but yeah, that's my little Cricut, my desk for my Cricut, which is like a vinyl cutter crafting machine if you're not familiar with that. A lot of fun to use. Here is some more storage. I've got a bunch of canvases in here that I've probably been hoarding for years. So I'm always stocked up. I always have a lot of canvases on hand because you never know when the inspiration's gonna hit you, right? And this is kind of my little paint station. So this is where I keep all of my paint brushes, all of the painting things. Here is my easel. I've got this Mars Attack alien going, working on this bad boy right now. Behind it is a whole mess. This is where I keep my paint palette. I have a whole bunch of these styrofoam plates that I've been using for paint palettes. Like, I have this nice fancy expensive Stay Wet palette, but I prefer using the styrofoam plates, to be honest, because it's just less cleanup for me to do afterwards. But yeah, that's my little paint corner. I guess my dog Jack wanted to come say hi to you. This is just some art that I just really love. The little Mac Dre piece here in the corner is one of my egg carton relief prints that I've done. And all of these pieces are actually by other artists. So I got these more than a couple years ago now. These are some original watercolor pieces by a tattoo artist based out of Sacramento. I just saw his pieces on Instagram and I went into the shop and I just had to have those. So those are a couple pieces from him. This is actually a print. I got this piece shipped to me all the way from Germany, actually. This German artist, and for the life of me, I can't remember her name right now. My bad. But she's an amazing artist, and I just really connected with this piece of hers, and so I just had to have a print of it. I just feel like it's just so fierce. I just love the fierceness, you know? So yeah, I just kind of have art in my art studio that not only that I've done, but by other artists, because I'm inspired by other artists' work as well. This piece is another artist from Sacramento. I got this so long ago, I can't even remember who it's by, but it's a print, and I just really kind of dig the whole like tattoo kind of vibe style that she has. So I thought they all kind of looked really nice together, grouped up there. But moving on, this is where a majority of the magic happens, I guess you could say. This is my my desk where I work at, where I do most of my paintings, as you can see, where I do all my crafting, where I was doing my streaming. This is where I film all of my YouTube channels. I am going to be doing a video soon on how to set up and how to stream to stream your art. But I just have a very basic setup right now. As you can see, it's nothing fancy. There's even a bunch of zip ties holding things together. But hey, it works, you know? That's my little working area. I've got a stack of art business-y kind of things. This is one of my work in progress pieces. Just finished outlining it a couple nights ago, or last night. But moving on, this is just some more storage for more of my things. There's just a whole bunch of notebooks, basically. I love collecting notebooks. Like, even if I have a planner that's like expired, I will still like save it because I'm like, there's something I can do with it. These are where I store some of my spray paint. I have more downstairs. Just some more notebooks and some other things. We'll dig deeper there in a second. I just wanted to give you a quick little overview, and then we'll dive in a little deeper. Here's the other corner of my little art studio. Again, these are all but the piece at the bottom. This is all art by other people. This was just a piece that I saw in a magazine, and I really connected with it, so I just ripped it out and framed it. I really enjoyed it. The artist is Victoria Villasana. She does like these really cool portraits where she like embroiders into people's like portraits. It's really cool. This is a print by Alex Garant. I believe she's based in California. Last time I checked, I haven't been on Instagram in a while. I haven't been keeping up too well. But this is another piece by Sharpie Thief. Amazing. This is actually an original painting that I won in a giveaway. I was so excited. I think I even won it like the week of my birthday or something like that a couple years ago, and she let me choose. She's like, whatever you want me to paint, I'll paint you. And I just told her I would like an alien skull with some flowers in a galaxy, and this is what she came up with. I love it. This is just a little wall print thing that I bought from the store like years ago. This is a piece that I painted along with an artist. It was like a 2-hour painting virtual paint class thing. I painted it at like 3 in the morning one morning. But here's the rest of this corner over here. Some more work in progress pieces that I've been working on. I am going to be showing y'all how to paint and draw this owl here on a video coming up, so stay tuned for that. A couple other pieces. These are again by some other artists. The one in the corner is by an artist named Deep. He goes by Deep Estate, I believe, on Instagram. He is based out of Russia, and me and him did an art trade like years ago. So I sent him a painting, and he sent me that painting, and it is proudly hanging there in my corner. This is an original, or not original, this is a print, limited edition print by Harrison McCumber. Really amazing artist. This is all of my paint. I've had this vintage antique suitcase for the longest time, and it's kind of falling apart, but I've always just kept my paints in there. It just kind of seemed to work out for me. So these, I'll show you more of my paints here in a second, but that's where I store all my paints. More even more craft and art supplies in there. Another bag of paint. This is my little desk that I never really use except for just like keeping stuff on top of it. I cleaned up my art studio a little bit before I started this video, but believe me, this thing was like jam-packed with random stuff. There's my little printing area, nothing too exciting there. And then this is kind of, I guess, the center of the art studio, the other side of it. I've got a bunch of my art. I think, yeah, this is all of my art hanging up on this wall. You've seen this background a lot, I'm sure. And this is just a little bench that kind of just catches all my random things on it. I've got a bunch of random things that I will be showing you here in a minute, but there's just a quick little view. And of course, we have that painting up there. These containers over here have more art supplies. So we have over here, even more art stuff. So I guess this is where we can really start getting into the juiciness. This is where I've been keeping all of my perler bead things. Store all of my perler beads over here. I ordered a whole bunch of perler beads and the board and everything, and I was so gung-ho. I was gonna do a whole bunch of perler bead things, and then I think I've only done one thing so far with them. That's how it goes sometimes. This is just a ribbon holder that I have. I love it. It's so cute. You're supposed to like put the end of the ribbon so you can just pull on it, but it just was too messy for me, so I just keep them in there. But yeah, my little storage for that. More perler beads. These are some of the fake tattoos I was using when I was doing my streaming. A little notebook for sketches. You've seen some of these sketches. I know I've posted some as a short. If you'd like to see more of those, you can check them out on the short. But I can show you. Let's see. What do we have in drawer number 1? A whole bunch of random things. I got this from the dollar store a while ago. I just thought it'd be cute and fun. It's just been sitting. I'll get around to it. You know, one of those get around to it things. This is a whole bunch of mesh that I had bought because I wanted to make a Thanksgiving wreath, but I never did get around to that. There's a theme going on, can you tell? These are just a bunch of dice that I bought because I wanted to make some home decor out of it, but I haven't got around to it, of course. Some Jenga blocks, because these Jenga blocks, you can actually do a lot of really cool, cute crafting things with it. So I actually do use those a lot. I have this engraver that I got a couple months ago. I haven't opened it up yet, but I'm kind of excited to try it out and see what I can do with it. I've also got some random foam, craft foam. I've got a pattern for a tote that I'll probably never make. Some spin art that I haven't used yet either. This is just a tote of things I haven't used. I've got a whole bunch of embroidery hoops because I was making a lot of dream catchers at one point. I haven't made one in a while, but I have a bunch if I want to make some more. And then I also store my fabric in here as well. Alrighty, drawer number 2. I'm trying to keep this smooth for y'all. I've got scraps of felt. I've got more craft felt. I was doing a whole lot of craft felting for a minute there. I've got some wood stain, my wood staining stuff. I've got some beads if I ever get the itch to make some jewelry. And then last drawer is where I kind of keep my wood crafting things, I guess you could say. I've got a bunch of these wood trays that I'm gonna eventually make something out of. But yeah, just a bunch of wood pieces for crafting. And I have this tablecloth that I've used as a stencil in the past. So that's what's in there. And then we've got yet another storage container. This is where the Bakery Bandit's been hanging out. This is one of my very first felt doll I ever made. I'm very proud of him. He's just been hanging out right here. I have these hats and sunglasses. I was using those a lot when I was streaming. And in the drawers, we have all of these transfers that I've made. I typically don't like to draw directly on a canvas. I like to draw on a piece of parchment paper first and then transfer the drawing onto my canvas so I don't have a bunch of dark marks to erase or anything like that. And so this is where all of my transfers go. So I save all of them in case I decide to one day maybe I want to paint that piece again. And so I'll be able to do it and not have to draw it all over again. So I've got a whole bunch of transfers in here. Oh, there's little Lucy. Yeah, that's where all my transfers go. I was working on a new painting. This is it right here. I haven't showed you yet, so you get a little first glance at it there. So drawer number 2 has a bunch of more felt, more crafting felt. This felt is usually, I can use it in my Cricut. So I made this project, a project similar to that before. And I've got a bunch of stencils in here. This is where I store all of my stencils and kind of paper crafting, sketchbook material kind of things. So yeah, I've got a whole bunch of stencils, just little stencils. And that is for that drawer. Number 3, this is where I store all of my craft paper. I've got a whole bunch of crafting paper, scrapbooking paper. I was really into scrapbooking for a while, and so I've got hordes and hordes of different types of scrapbooking paper. You want glitter, you want plain, you want designed, it's all in there. So that is this little corner, or a little space I should say, that kind of leads into my actual art studio. So again, more storage. Storage is like really important for me because I have such a small space. So I really have to make sure that I have everything stored and organized as much as I can. I've got a bunch of vinyl stacked on here. So the vinyl is for my Cricut. This is just a bag of projects I made with my Cricut, and they've just been sitting there. I don't know what I'm ever gonna do with them. That's my biggest problem. I make all these things and I don't know what to do with them. So in here, I've got a bunch of tissue paper, just kind of gift supplies kind of thing. I've got gift bags, tissue paper, things like that. And then I also store my magazines in here that I use for collaging. I've got a whole bunch of different types of magazines in there just for collages. But yeah, let me show you this tabletop of things here. These are my tools for my Cricut. And back here is this cute little drawer. I love miniature things. I saw this, I'm like, I have to have it, even though I don't know what I'm gonna use it for. I found a use. I just store my little measuring tapes in here. And then this has a bunch of little safety pins. This is my little miniature trash can. So whenever I'm weeding a design out, which is taking the vinyl out, I always just throw my scraps in here. So it's my little miniature trash can. So this is my vinyl cutter. It cuts all kinds of different materials. I've been using the Cricut for a couple years now, so I'm pretty familiar with it. Really enjoy using it. If anyone's ever curious or wants to know or do some like do-it-yourself tutorial things with the Cricut, let me know. This is a drawing tablet that I had ordered a couple years ago. I think I mentioned that earlier. I was planning on really getting into digital art but yet it sits. I've used it once. It was wonderful and great, and maybe eventually I'll get back to using it again. I don't know. Here's just some more random things. This is a little guy made out of felt. There's where I hang my mats for the Cricut. So you just feed the mat into this machine with your vinyl and it cuts it out for you. So this is one of my sketchbooks. I would really like to do a sketchbook tour eventually. I'll just give you a quick little glimpse into the madness. There's this alien lady again. I've been like I was really obsessed with like drawing and painting this lady, alien person creature thing for a while. So just some random doodles. But yeah, I'll show you more of that in the future. We'll do a sketchbook tour. This is another sketchbook. This is my own little personal diary, journal, sketchbook thing. So that's kind of under wraps, I'm sorry. But yes, random crafting things. I love using the dollar store pizza pans to make crafting, like home decor and stuff like that out of it. Just a bunch of random things. I've got a white shirt in there because I was gonna do some tie-dye with it, but I never got around to it. I've got my wreath form for that wreath that I was gonna make. Here is all of my holiday ribbon. I've got lots of Christmas and Valentine's Day themed like ribbon. I just keep them in there. Got a whole bunch of yarn because when I was making the dream catchers, I was using yarn a whole lot. So I've got a whole bunch of different yarn, colors of yarn. I've got some stuffing back here for when I was making my little stuffed felt doll. I needed stuffing for him. What else do I have in here? I'm curious myself. I haven't dug around in here in a minute. Let's see. Let's see what we got. I think this is my tattoo stuff. Oh yeah, so like years ago I got a tattoo machine and there's all my tattooing stuff that I hope one day I will get to use and be into it. If you're an artist or crafter, you know there's a whole difference between buying the supply and using it. They're two different hobbies, I'm telling you, two different worlds. But yeah, that is where all of the random things live. This is actually a drafting table, so it can be moved and angled and everything, and that's what this lip on it's for, because it was a drafting table. I got the table from Craigslist like over 10 years ago. This thing has been through a lot of moves with me. Sturdy, 40 bucks I could have bought. Pretty happy with that. But yeah. More random art things, some more art, all of my little gel pens. Some little miniature art pieces. I haven't found homes for them yet in my space, so they've just been hanging out here. These two pieces in the middle are by an artist named Casey Berube. I'm gonna have to be sure to tag all of the artists that I'm talking about in the description. But yeah, she gifted me these original pieces a while back. The bottom one is an alcohol ink piece and the top is a painting. I've got this tote of canvases and paintings. Some of these have been painted on. Some of them, most of them are empty. Here's that owl again. I've got some records in here because I thought it'd be really cool to paint on records at some point. I just haven't got around to it, but I have the supplies. I have a bunch of different canvases in here, basically my canvas storage. And over here, this is where I keep all of my paintbrushes, my foam brushes. I use these for my Mod Podge, mostly is what I use the foam brushes for. I've got some palette knives in here. Love to use palette knives. And just a whole bunch of paintbrushes because I was teaching paint classes at one point, and so I bought a whole bunch of paintbrushes, and now I have a whole bag full of these somewhere. I've got a couple bottles. I was practicing putting vinyl on curved objects, so I bought a couple bottles to do that with. Another little project to just for my vinyl stuff. I was really into making custom things at one point, so I bought a bunch of like blank things from the dollar store, and then I use these jars for my paint water. Moving on, drawer number 1. This tote is full of things that I use the most, so this is where I store all of my glue. I feel like you can never have too many different types of glue. I love collecting different types of glue. I've got Mod Podge, I've got dishwasher safe Mod Podge, a little bit of chalk paint, just tacky glue, just various types of glue. Spray glue, wood glue. I mean, there's E6000, the most epic glue ever. Regular just stick glue. Hot glue. I love glue. What can I say? This is where I store my little glue sticks in here. My tape, some batteries. This is where I store all of my scissors, my crafting scissors. Just some twine, random, some pop-up adhesives. Little wood cubes. And in here are more paintbrushes. Drawer number 2. This is kind of, I guess you could say, the mixed media drawer. It's where I keep just kind of more wood crafting things. Some Rafi, moss. These little nail gems, I couldn't throw them away. I just couldn't. I figured I could use them for something. So I've got a bunch of nail gems in there. Some rocks for crafting. Some shells. More fabric. I have these doilies because when I was teaching I was doing Dreamcatcher classes, we would use these as the center from the Dreamcatcher. Very cute. So I have a little hoard of those too. Just some more twine. These are the ends of the foam brushes because whenever I'm done with these, I just throw away the tops of them and I keep the ends of them because I'm like, this is perfectly good wood. I could do something with it. So I have a bunch of random wood in there. Don't judge me. Here is just some more random things for crafting. I can't remember what these are called. Pom-poms. Some shower curtain rods because I'm like, there's something I could do with these. Some buttons. More wood pieces for random crafting. I've got a whole lot of glitter and just a bunch of random crafting things are for that drawer. And then we are back to this easel. I've had this easel for over 10 years now. It was gifted to me and it's been quite sturdy and handy all these years. I'm pretty happy with it. Oh, it's kind of a mess back here. So this is where I keep all my paint palettes, my painter's tape, some more random things that I was going to use for crafting. So yeah, there's some more paintings back here, some pour paints, some paint pours, I mean. There's another paint palette and a couple of paint sets. I think this is a watercolor paint set. This is an acrylic paint set. It's just a lot. It's a lot, y'all. I showed you these pieces earlier, but here they are again. I'll be sure to tag the names of these artists in the description if I can remember their names and I can find their information. I've had these pieces for a while now, so I will do my best. But yeah, I didn't show you this bad boy up here. This is another piece by Harrison McCumber. This was the very first original piece of art that I ever purchased from another artist. And I bought it at my very first art show. Me and him did an art show. But yeah, I just really loved that piece. I just loved his cartoony kind of style. And so, you know, I gotta hang art up in my studio that inspires me. And I really love this art too. So yeah, I just thought I'd hang it up in here. So this is, again, my little setup for streaming, for filming my videos. I will do a video more on what all this entails, but yeah, this is where I film my videos, do my streaming things when I'm streaming. I have these wood slices out right now because last night I was gonna start working on this little terrarium piece. This little container holds all of the things that I use a lot. So I've got pens, scissors, my X-Acto knife. Oh, whoops. Oh, there's no blade on it right now. Okay, we're good. But yeah, just some little sticky notes, glue, just some little tape, washi tape, just things that I can grab real quick that I might need, pencils, stuff like that. This is just a pile of art stuff when I was doing a lot of planning with my art paint classes and stuff like that. I had a whole binder. This is my binder dedicated to that. So basically that's what that is. Another work in progress piece that I was going to do. This is just my microphone that I use for some of my all my videos. So let me show you a little more in depth over here. So these are a couple of old planners. Like I mentioned, I like to keep old planners because look how cute this is. Like, so what I did was I ripped out all the inside, but I'm like, there's something I know that I can use the outside of it for, so I just kept it. But yeah, a little tablet, just some little label things, a little PayPal swipe thing from when I was doing a lot of art shows and stuff like that. This was a little photo album that I was putting some of my prints in here. Here, I can show you this real quick. So it's very small, but I printed up a couple of my pieces and I put them in here. I was trying to make like a little portfolio thing originally, so that's what that was for. I made a better portfolio. That was just my starting one. This is a little photo album, just some more notebooks, little miniature notebooks. I was kind of obsessed with collecting miniature notebooks for a minute, as you can tell. Another little PayPal thing. It's a little painting I did a while ago. This is an origami piece that was gifted to me by another artist. I will have to see if I can find her name. Here is some of my spray paint. I've got a lot more down in my laundry room, but this is just what I could fit up here for now. Right here is, so I've got a little sketchbook. This is where I store all of my vinyl. I'll show you this. Just where I store all my vinyl scraps. So this is what the vinyl I use for my Cricut. I like to try to keep it as organized as I can, so I don't have to, that's the biggest thing for me is organization. I hate when I'm working on a project and then I can't find something I'm looking for, and so I try to just stay as organized as I can with all of my things. This is just some poster board. I had to have the metallic because I made this letter with it a while ago. This binder is where I organize and store all of my felt. So it's all just organized each by a little color here. And here we have some more, oh my gosh, y'all. Okay, you want to see some old school art? This is some old school art for you, okay? I'm not going to show you all of this because it's just some of my first drawings when I really got into art. It's supposed to be Mike Tyson. But yeah, I've got a bunch of random drawings. I will show you all this one day. It's just like my very beginner's art. So, you know, sometimes it's hard to go back and look at that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just some old sketches. These are all from when I was like 11 or 12 years old. So yeah, that's some old school art for you. This contains all of my stickers and crafting things. And here are just some more business things. This is a file folder where I've got some prints and stuff like that in here, I think. I haven't looked in here in a minute. Let's see what's in here. I've got some prints of some artwork. Just prints of my artwork. This is actually a drawing that I did, a coloring page. It's kind of hard to do this one-handed, y'all. This is some of my egg carton relief prints, and these are just things that I use whenever I was doing my my art shows and stuff like that. I would just put the art prints in there. Here's some more egg carton relief prints. I've got a whole bunch of Mac Dre egg carton relief prints, I guess, made up. But yeah, just some prints and stuff like that in there. And next up, we have this last shelf. This, I've got a couple more of my sketchbooks. These are like old school, as you can tell. They're kind of falling apart. These are very old sketchbooks. This was my very first sketchbook. This is my art portfolio. I'll show you this real quick. So this is my art portfolio. And this is just kind of where I printed up a bunch of my art and kind of just put the titles, and just so I could have a portfolio with all my artwork in it. And of course, this doesn't have all of my artwork in it, but it does have a lot of it. I also have my artist biography in there. And then I've got some more sketchbooks. I will be doing a sketchbook tour, so I'll show you those at that time. Here is another kind of portfolio, I guess. So I took color theory in college, and I guess I got a B. So that's cool. I really did not like color theory, but I learned a lot from it. So I guess there's that. But yeah, this just contains a portfolio of all of the color theory projects, assignments. Our teacher made us get one of these. And yeah, I didn't really care for the class, but I did learn a lot. So it was worth it, you know. Another sketchbook that I was working on. This is actually my junk journal. I don't think I've shared this on YouTube. I'll just show you one page and we'll do another junk journal reveal tour later on. But basically I wanted each color of the rainbow to have its own page in here. So there's each color has its own page with some fun little things. But this was just a book that I took, and I just started covering the pages with it. I don't even know where I got this book to begin with, but it was already scribbled in. And so I've just been covering the pages with some junk journaling things. Kind of like repurpose a book that I wasn't going to use anyways, you know. It's just some paper to draw on. I've got my Van Gogh book right here. Huge fan of Van Gogh. He was the artist that inspired me to start painting all those years ago. Just another little fun art project book. And an acrylic paint for beginners book. I've had that for quite a while. And just my little scale for when I want to send out any parcels, you know. So you might probably wondering what the heck this is. This is a Bob Ross beard, and a paint. It came with a beard and a paint palette and a paintbrush. So when I was streaming, I did a cosplay dressing up as Bob Ross. That was a lot of fun. I'm gonna have to do something with this again because I've only used it like once and it's been sitting, but that was a lot of fun. I showed all of you these paintings earlier. I'll give you a quick glimpse at them one more time. So this is where I store all of my paint and all of my paint pens. I was just gifted my very first set of Posca paint pens recently. I haven't used them yet. I'm kind of nervous to use them. I don't know why, but I'm also excited. So I'm going to have to check those out and give you a little review on those at some point. But yeah, this is where I keep all my paints. Whole lot of paint. My paint pens. These are some more paint pens. These are fabric markers. This is how I dyed my donut shoes. Some puff paint. Some more paint pens. And there's all of the paint, where all of the magic comes from. In here, I have all of my thread and needles. I have some jewelry making things, some beads in here. I haven't really done much with jewelry making, but I would really like to get into it. Just got some more beads and stuff like that. These chains. Yeah, just some more beads and stuff like that. I was using a lot of the beads when I was doing the dream catcher thing too. And this was just a plain white drawer that I had, and years ago I decided I didn't want it to be plain anymore, so I took duct tape. This is all duct tape, and I just kind of made it a little cuter, you know. In here, this is where I keep all of my crayons, markers, colored pencils, watercolors. This is my traveling, this is what I use when I want to do art on the run and I'm traveling. So I've got my notebook in here, I've got a watercolor brush and some more paper, stuff like that. I've got some oil pastels in there, whole bunch of markers. That's where all those go. And this bottom drawer does not want to open for me. It's so crammed full of things. But this is where I keep more paint sets. And there's a pouch with some charcoal in there. Here's another watercolor set. But yeah, that's what is in there. And then we have a bag of paint. So when I was doing the paint classes, I had gotten a whole bunch of this kind of paint to teach with. So there's just a bag of paint randomly on the ground there. To the right of the painting, we have my desk here. So this just has my paper cutter on it, a bunch of Sharpies, pencils, pens, this Y that I made a while ago using yarn and foam board. This is a print by an artist that I got a long time ago. I cannot remember her name, but I just love the little bunny and the fairy. That's where I hang up my scissors. In here, it's a little chaotic, but this is where I store some of my this is like a work in progress. This is a little piece that I did a while ago. It's just been hanging out in here. This was the first and only perler bead I've made since I was a kid. It's got more pencils in here. I don't even know what this all is, honestly. Cards that people have gotten me. Just some little push pins, business cards, little stationery. This is where I keep all my X-Acto knife things. Just some more pencils, erasers, and here is where I keep all of my hanging things, like to hang, you know, paintings and stuff like that. Got some highlighters and just some random tools in here. Kind of a random array of things. Here is some more vinyl. This is where I store more of the vinyl for my Cricut machine. And there's even more vinyl here. So yeah, I need to get some better storage for that. And to the side of my desk, I have this miniatures kit and some of the pieces that I made that kind of fell apart. So I am going to be starting a new series where I'm going to start working on this miniatures kit. So it's not just sitting there. My little printer area. Another box of random art supplies. That's just a whole nother world in itself. We're not going to count that as part of the art studio tour. It's too messy. I can't deal with that right now. I do hang all of like pieces that I'm working on right here. They're kind of hidden off, but that's my work in progress wall, I guess you could say. And again, here's this wall. I've got stacks of work in progress pieces. So just a bunch of pieces I was working on that I need to finish at some point. There's the mushroom piece I was talking about earlier. I've got a work in progress piece. I've got to re-glue that on there, so it's just been kind of hanging out. I've got this embroidery piece that I started and then I got bored, so it's just been sitting. And then I have this wood burnt piece. This was my first and only wood burnt piece I've ever done. I think I'm ready to hang it somewhere, but it's just been sitting. Here's some more art. This piece is by another artist. I cannot remember his name at the moment. But there's some more old artwork of mine. Just kind of hanging out there. I've got a bunch of jars and bottles and stuff like that because I swear you could make the cutest things with these. So they're just hanging out until some inspiration hits me as to what to do with them. But this was an old Coca-Cola bottle that I painted. It's just been hanging out in here. This was a stained glass lamp piece that I was trying to make, and I kind of gave up on it, as you can tell. It kind of fell apart on me, and I just was like, whatever, and it's been hanging out there since. This is a little clay jar that I made. I sculpted it and never painted it. Some little alien pieces I sculpted, haven't painted yet. And over here, there's another work in progress piece. Another piece I was working on for the hubs here. Got another work in progress piece. I was making a little tile tray, and I realized that I needed to cut it, and so it's just been sitting here until I get around to doing that. And then I have a box of tie-dye things, which I hope I will eventually get to do. There's another work in progress piece, and then in here is my heat press for making shirts and stuff like that. And up here, these are some dream catchers that I'm kind of working on. They're of course not done. And then just these pieces. There is the art studio in all of its small but mighty glory. And there you have it. There is my art studio. I hope you enjoyed this tour. If you have any comments or questions about anything that I showed you today, please let me know. And please feel free to subscribe. I'm looking forward to chatting with you in the comments. Bye, friends.